Thank you. Well, actually, I would like to thank Andrew for his presentation because it pours nicely into mine. My name is Emad Alashi, and I'm here today to share with you a question that I've asked myself so many times in my career, and I'm just probably have asked yourself this question. Show of hands. Am I a good developer? Beautiful. Yeah. I think it's a consensus. Everybody agrees that as humans, we in a continuous pursuit to become good at something, and because we are developers, this is what we enjoy. We like to be good developers. This question, though, requires to know what is a good developer. Sadly, there's no one answer. This is something that will be controversial. Everyone will have their own ideas. So what I'm going to do today is I'll share with you a group of questions that will help us or help you to decide what a good developer is and to reach the conclusion you'd like to. But before going that, we should ask ourselves why. Why are we asking ourselves this question? So if you are asking if you are a good developer or not because you want a raise or a promotion, then most likely you are asking this question for the wrong reason. There will be so many factors in your promotion or a raise other than being a good developer that will influence that decision for you. So I advise you not to pay a lot of attention to that reason. For me, the ultimate reason of answering, am I a good developer, is to become a better developer. This is the ultimate goal that we should have when asking that. So, starting with learning, the question that I'd ask myself is, am I learning the right thing? There's a lot of things for us as developers to learn. Should I study computer science? Should I know how TCP works? Should I know how the CPU works, loading instructions and commands? What should I learn? And this is the diagram I came up with. It's very simple. We as humans have limited capacity. It's a fact, and we have to embrace it. It might be a bit of fact. You can't be good at everything, you can't know everything, but we have limited capacity. So if you have a core competency that you are comfortable in, like for example, development in front-end development, there's physics and astrophysics, and there is literature and history, and this is the area where you're comfortable at, you'll see that you can only know so much. So if you have a lot of knowledge in this core competency, most likely you'll know less about the other stuff. And this is perfectly fine. This is the thing that I'm trying to express, that you should be comfortable of knowing less. Sometimes it's also important to realize that you should know how deep you are going to go in the spectrum. As a consultant, for me, I'm very comfortable in having less knowledge, but more breadth of knowledge. The reason is, most likely because I come across a lot of problems and a lot of clients. Sometimes the problem is here. So if I have a lot of knowledge in this space, probably I'll not be able to solve the problem. But if the problem is here, I might not be able to solve it directly. I might be able to pull in another colleague. But this brings us to the question, which is, what is basics? Because this is a question that is asked by a lot of the beginners in this field. What should I know before I start programming? And this reminds me of this. This is how I think about the knowledge that you need to have as basics. If you are one of these poor guys, the only thing that you need to know is that there is some two shoulders underneath that I have to step on. I have to gauge for them. I have to feel them. I know that they are there. I know that they are representing another people, but I don't care about the rest. As for me, I'm a separate entity. I know my boundaries. This is where I know I should be comfortable with. And other spectrum of the knowledge that I might interact with. being that person, you should be comfortable on not caring about the bottom of the spectrum or the pyramid, only the things or the areas in which you in touch with. Is David here? You'll be surprised seeing your face here. Actually, we're a small community and on Twitter, and we check each other out. And when I saw David's bio, it struck me. It's like, this is exactly what the developer should spend his time learning. One abstraction level deeper. So if you are a .NET developer, like how many people wrote .NET in their lives? Beautiful. So most likely, you will be able to get away with writing code without really understanding how garbage collection works. Most likely. Or boxing and unboxing. You will get away with this. But we humans don't usually write very good layers of abstraction. Sometimes we need a knowledge in the one level deeper in order for us to write successful code. So knowing how the garbage collection works will eventually make you write better code. Am I learning the right way? There's so many ways that you can learn. I put this diagram as well together with different means, the value that they provide, and why is this sitting? Oh. Click to begin recording. Nice, it wasn't recording.
You are being recorded.
Alright, so fair enough. How should I stop this?
Just
Yeah. Alright. Sorry again. I want this to show properly. Oh, tick, 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 tick. Right, back. So, there's a lot of means for you to learn, right? There's every mean has provide its way of how much value it provides, and it comes with effort that you have to provide in this in acquiring this knowledge through this mean. The thing I want to concentrate on is the last three, because we do a lot of pluralsight, we do a lot of discussions, but we rarely do this doing, pairing, and teaching. If you really want to be good at something, you have to start doing. And after doing with someone who is more knowledgeable, and eventually teaching. If you want to be really good at something, try to make a presentation or something. Read code. So reading code is also one of the most important ways on how to become a good developer. Because when it comes to reality, like how many people read the Gang of Four design patterns? Or fair bit. At least, maybe not read. You can't read design patterns, but it's you consult yourself, right? You look at the book and you see the patterns. But when it comes to reality, it's a running code that will prove if you understand something or if it works or not. It's when the rubber hits the road, like to say, this is where things get real. So if you go to GitHub and you browse for your favorite project and look there, you will be surprised for how much you learn. For me, for example, Project Kudu, it's the engine behind Azure websites auto deployment. They have to deploy from Dropbox. They have to deploy from Bitbucket, from GitHub, from one of the most, or the nicest ways I learned how to do this pluggability is to look at their code. And this is pragmatic, this is real, this is in production. Reading code. Writing code. Where's Andrew? Yeah, writing code, right? So we think that if, as developers, writing code is a must. But no, we spend time in meetings, we spend time in analysis, arguing, shooting darts. But it's important for us to write code to be good at writing code. It's like muscle memory. Like when you start driving with a manual shift, for example, you put a lot of effort in, like, concentrating, looking at the mirror and the clutch and the gears. But next time it becomes easier and easier and easier. And this is exactly the same writing code. Our brains, when they see this crazy syntax of, for example, reactive extensions. Yes, so I grew hair, like white hair from reactive extensions. So looking at this, is this map or should I reduce? So the first time you're gonna go through hard time, but the second time you understand the syntax. You don't have to really think about it. So the more you write code, the better. Know your tools. I once worked with a client when there was .NET 4.0 that they wrote code that was 1.1. If you look at Visual Studio, right-click on the project, the framework target is 4.0. You look at the code, no generics, no lambda expressions, no anonymous functions, nothing. If you don't know the features of the framework and the tools that you are depending on, you are not leveraging these features. You are bound to performance and maintainability issues and all sorts of stuff. This also goes with the tools that we use, like IDE. I have met people who were in a debugging session that didn't know that there was a watch list or watch variables. They didn't know that you can put a breakpoint that is convention. This, not knowing these things, will prevent you from proceeding further. Am I lazy? And this word lazy was hijacked by the DevOps for the last 3 years. Like, I'm a lazy developer, so I'm going to write script to make things. Yeah, all right, I get this. But it's the lazy I'm trying to look at here is doing the mundane tasks part of the development process that we don't really give enough attention to. For example, do I check the parameters that are passed to my method? Do I check on them? Are they the right variables? Is going to crash? Do I write maintainable code? For example, I have a style in my variables. Did I test my code? It does not necessarily need to be the code that I write. Did I test it in staging or just? So we have sometimes, whatever thing that we deliver as code, someone else out there will depend on the quality of this code. At some point, it might be bad experience, and sometimes it's going to break. So if you want to be a good developer, maybe we shouldn't be lazy. All right, this one, I think we are all, we have gone through this, victims of this. How many of you ran F5 in debugging several times expecting different results? Or ran PowerShell script, ran it first time, run it again. It's not gonna change, right? It's bits and zeros, zeros and ones. So one time I was development task and was so much concentrating, and then I had to close the laptop, run to the train, I'm gonna write code in the train. So I open it, lousy internet connection, of course, and then I received this error while developing. Damn it! There's no internet. What did I do? I read the error. The first thing that we developers do, okay, error, copy, paste, Google, tell me. What's the thing? So I read the error, and it was then this brings us to the lazy one. Did that developer do a good job by writing an expressive message in the error? See? So I read the error, and I looked at it, and I figured out what the problem is, and I solved it without Google. Also, what thank you. The big picture. Also, being part a developer, developing or delivering some value in a bigger ecosystem, it's not enough for you to say, I'm front-end developer. All I know is that bit that I'm delivering. You have to understand the bigger picture. understanding the bigger picture will make you make the right decision. I'll give one example in this one, which is I worked in an enterprise where we had an architect, you know, the ivory tower architects, that sort of architect. So he was a good man, really, but I was given an interface, C# interface like that. You have to implement this interface. This is part of your code. So, all right, but where does this work? Where is it called? Where the functions are called? Oh, no, don't worry about this. We took good care of this. Okay. I implemented the interface. And it appeared that that method of that interface was called in a loop for probably over 100 times. And took the liberty of writing the slowest performant code ever, connecting to the database and so on. So if you don't really understand the big picture, you probably will have bad effect on the code. And this is why I dislike the concept of architects and developers. This is wrong. Like even I know that there is responsibilities and there are decisions that the developers cannot be involved in, but at least let the developers to know the why. Why you made that decision as an architect. Why we are doing it this way. What are the boundaries I should care about, not just developing my task. Oh, it was, okay, this one. Back to rabbit holes. All right, rabbit holes. We should be very careful as developers also on how deep we go experimenting stuff. So remember, whenever you are writing code, you are delivering value. This value is bound to business value, yeah, and it's bound to time. These two things does not allow you, or does not give you the liberty to always try to investigate. If it's a side project, you can just go in tangent and just try whatever it is. But we have to know that we should be pragmatic and know when to stop the big picture. Brave. In this industry, it's a brutal fact that things change. And if we are not comfortable with this change, we'll stay back. And part of this embracing change is to be brave about these things. You know this, when you're late hour in the train station and someone comes in without stereotyping and you feel like this is a dangerous man or fellow, says, what you do is you gloss over. You don't want to have eye contact. You walk away. You don't want to have this interaction. This is what we do when we see a complex code, like generics and stuff and lambda expression. Scroll out of the screen. Like, function, I understand. We shouldn't do this. We have to be brave on embracing complexity. I'm not promoting complexity. I'm not marketing for complexity. But when needed, we have to embrace that. Things like microservices, the one that they are frightening us of, and CQRS, or even learning different stuff, functional programming. We should always be brave. Having said that, you should not be too smart. Yeah, so brave by making decisions and learning new stuff. But if it's something that is proven that it's a solved problem by really smart people before you, it's going to be not too smart to re-implement that. So don't write your own load balancer. I did that. I regret it. So don't be too smart. Have an opinion. And this is one of the most important things. I was talking to Nelly before the presentation. She saw a lot of the slides. We were talking about a lot of the slides. Having an opinion is very, very important. Because it's not about the conclusion. How many of you use Angular? Why did you choose Angular? Or React? Why did you choose React? So it's very important to go through the process of making decisions or having an opinion or judging a technology. Because you might reach to the same conclusion. You might like, well, Angular is good for my situation. But going through the process until you reach that conclusion is very important for you for a situation where there's no consensus, where there's no agreement. We are different. We are in different places. We are in different problems. We are different people. We are different technologies. And some point you will have all different variables that will not help you asking someone what client framework should I use. You have to have trained yourself in reaching conclusions and making decisions in a logical manner. If you don't have opinions, so if you want to do a train or like it's like an experiment after this talk, go in while you're in the train or driving, try think of technology that you have been using and criticize it. They are not gods. Whoever wrote this technology, there was decisions and there was flaws in their decisions. And it's not, sometimes it's suitable for your situation, sometimes it's not. Do you have smarter friends? Surround yourself with smarter friends. If you are in a place where you are the smartest, you are in danger. Because this is the upper limit of the experience that you're going to have. You have to expose yourself to smarter friends. And this brings me to the fact that some are smart. Well, there's a study and a book in 2010 came out about this, talent is overrated. And of course, it's who am I to disagree? Talent is overrated. But talent exists. And we have to admit that. Some people are really smart. The thing is that if this is talent and this is the talented people, they might give this effort in order to reach this level. We might be less talented, but with the right effort, we might even succeed more. So don't ever think of self that, oh, I'm not as talented as they are. You can achieve more. But also, we have to admit that there are smarter people that we might learn from. The last slide is, be very careful of these people. Yeah, this is the cool dudes of the industry. Like on Twitter, who's on Twitter? I hope so a lot. Yeah, something like, oh, damn, that was awesome. I wrote this program yesterday while watching my favorite TV show. Like disguised brag. Or something like, if you don't know, this is a quote from someone. I really don't like this statement. If you don't know how to build monoliths, don't build microservices. And this statement provides zero value to any of the one who hears it. What did you get from this? It's like you're stupid. This is what it conveys. It does not convey anything really. So these people who put you down, just filter this out. And we have a lot of these. Sadly, we have a lot of these in the industry. Focus on yourself. Focus on the things that will make you a better developer. And probably you'll reach somewhere. Thank you so much.